welcome back to my channel. I am Remy, and I mean, obviously if you've seen the title, you know what we're doing. I recently read The Hating Game. If you haven't seen my July wrap-up video, it'll be one of these little thingy, the card or whatever it's called, will pop up, and you should go watch that after you watch this or before you watch this, whatever. Just watch either video. I feel like I'm always wearing this shirt when I'm editing, but I'm editing this video right now, and I realized that I didn't preface what I was doing for the video. And I know that, like, you can see the title of the video and you, like, know what we're doing, but I feel like I still should have, like, explained. So basically I am comparing The Hating Game's book versus the movie, and I'm going to be giving my personal thoughts on them as standalones and then personal thoughts on them as, like, comparing them. So I'm gonna explain how I'm gonna split the video up next, but I, like, literally completely did not say what I was doing. I feel like I always have to put one of these videos in because I always miss something, but I'll get better, I promise. I'm trying to YouTube, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna put this into, like, parts. I'm gonna do the book and then the movie, and then I'm gonna do pros and cons of the book and then pros and cons of the movie. I'm gonna talk about how I felt about it as a standalone, like if this wasn't associated with the movie, for each thing, and then I'm going to compare them. And then I'm going to talk about which one I like better. But by the comparison, you should probably go ahead and figure that out throughout the video. So first I'm going to talk about the book. The book I rated a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't really necessarily like the book that much, and my phone has my pros and cons on it, so I'm going to be, like, looking at that. I didn't necessarily like the book that much. There was a lot of, like, cringy, like, scenes, and it's just weird to me. So as a standalone, it's a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, I don't necessarily like it. Like, I love the characters. I like the characters, but some of the scenes, I guess this book was kind of predictable. I don't know. It just was very cheesy, I guess. I didn't really like it. It's a good read, like, but, like, the entire time I was just like, that's cringy. Like, it's just very, it's very weird. So let's go into the pros. My first pro is the characters' chemistry. I did really like Josh and Lucy's chemistry, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a Grumpy Sunshine, like, thing. I think that's what everyone refers to this as, a Grumpy Sunshine book. But, like, Josh isn't that grumpy, really. He just enjoys picking on Lucy. He just enjoys picking on Lucy and whatever, and, like, I get that, but, like, at the same time, like, and, you know, I was about to say something about the movie, but we're talking about the book, okay? Nothing about the movie right now. So, yeah, I did really like their chemistry, and the next thing I really did like about the book is that it was funny. Like, Josh and Lucy's banter is very funny, and I did enjoy that. And I also did enjoy how he took care of her when she was sick in the book, and I also did enjoy their sex scene towards the end of the book. I really like that. I also like the fact that, like I said this in my other video, I like the fact that he waited to have sex with her because he was trying to, like, make the moment count. He wanted it to be right. Like, he wanted it, he wanted to, like, savor the moment because it was going to be their first time having sex with each other. And you find out towards the end of the book that he never hated her, because this is supposed to be an enemies to lovers romance. That's what everyone, like, refers to as. That's what it seems like when it comes to the name of the book. But it was definitely, to me personally, it is not an enemies to lovers, because he says at the end that he never hated her. He always has loved her. He never hated her. He just would pick on her because he just wanted to interact with her, and he enjoyed interacting with her and playing the games that they played, like the staring game and all the other shit. Like, this is not an enemies to lovers. And plus I feel like they go from enemies to lovers way too fast for it to be an enemies to lovers. For my taste of enemies to lovers, it was way too quick. Also, if you truly hated someone, like, I know he, like, didn't hate her the entire time, but if you truly hated someone, why? Why would you like, if you actually hated them, because the sick scene that I'm talking about where he takes care of her when she's sick happens, like, early on in the book. Like, it's not, like, middle of the book, towards the end of the book, where he, like, realizes that he has feelings for her, and, like, he just feels bad and wants to take care of her. No. This happens early on in the book, and he goes to her house, looks through her shit, and takes care of her, right? So, like, my thing is I know you didn't hate her the entire time, but if this is the way it's advertised, I was very confused because, again, this is at the beginning of the book, and I was like, I thought this man hated her. Like, what? It's like, why is he in her house? Like, why is he taking care of her? Like, why did he just call his doctor brother to come, like, check on her? Like, I don't understand. And I guess that part's just like, oh my god. Like, I loved how he took care of her. Again, that goes back to the character's chemistry. I did really love that fact of the book. Like, I love their interactions and how he took care of her and whatever, but on a genre standpoint, when everyone kind of, like, talks about this book being an enemies to lovers, when it really isn't. It isn't at all. Like, it's not. My last pro and my all-time favorite scene in this entire freaking book is how Lucy goes off on Anthony, which is Josh's dad, because Josh's dad is mad that, sorry, I keep bringing this up because they have the characters on the book, so I keep, like, wanting to refer to the characters, but Josh's dad is mad that Josh is not in med school and he's not a doctor like his brother, because their families are doctors or whatever. So he's mad that he didn't take on the family legacy of being a doctor and decided that he wanted to be in a publishing industry. And his dad always talks about how he just wasn't smart enough to, like, make it through med school, which wasn't the case at all. He just didn't want to be a doctor. Like, he went through med school to make his, like, dad proud or whatever, but he, like, went to the morgue and, like, saw the dead bodies or something, and he, like, couldn't take it. Like, he just really just didn't want to be around, like, dead people, kind of. So he decided to go with publishing, and that's when Lucy and Josh's companies merged, and then that's when they met and started being co-workers. It doesn't, the beginning of the book just talks about the merge of their companies. It doesn't go through the merge of their companies, but it just talks about how they became, like, how they had to share offices because their companies merged or whatever. So that's all the pros I have. So we're gonna get into the cons. So the writing was one of my, like, first cons. I just really didn't like the writing style that Sally Thorne writes in. I also, sometimes in dialogue, it was hard to tell who was talking, because you know how, like, in books they would be like, blah blah blah, Josh said, blah blah blah, Lucy said, and then after, if the conversation kept going, they would just stop doing that for a few lines, and then they'd start doing it again, so you know who's talking, so you can keep track of who's talking. Yeah, so she doesn't do that. She, like, lets the dialogue run on so long without telling you who's talking, and you get so confused. Like, in the beginning of the book, the beginning of the book, their Josh's boss, it's also Lucy's boss, but, like, Josh is the assistant for this guy. So Josh's boss comes up to Lucy and talks about the new, like, book that they published through our company, and, like, he wanted to see the book, and he was talking about how Josh didn't tell him that they got the new book in, and I was so confused who said that. Like, I was like, I didn't even realize that the boss guy said it until I watched the movie. Like, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I was so confused. Maybe it's just me, but, like, no, see right here, like, I can see it right here, like, and she'll also, in conversation, like, she'll put in dialogue in the conversation, and you're just supposed to assume who's talking. Like, here's one. You'll each get, okay, this is the part before Lucy gets sick. You'll each get a protective suit and a helmet to protect your eyes and face. I feel Joshua's sigh at my hip sink through my t-shirt. Yes, I point, and Andy lowers his hand. How much do paintballs hurt? A lot, Joshua says from his seat. Remember, folks, the aim isn't to hurt each other. I glance down at Josh. No matter how bad you want to. Are you two on opposing sides? Someone at the back calls, causing laughter. Okay, so in the beginning where it says you'll each get a protective suit and helmet to protect your eyes and face, is Josh saying that, right? Because it says I feel Josh's sigh. So she puts stuff like that instead of saying said or reply, or like using like murmured or blurted or like tense or something like that, or like nervously or something like that. She kind of just like puts what they did next to it after they said that, and you're just supposed to assume that that's who's talking. And she does that throughout a lot, and like when dialogue runs on for a long time, she just doesn't say who's talking, and I'm like, so who said that? Like, I get so freaking confused. And like I said when I was talking about how I felt overall about the book, there is a lot of cringy scenes, like things that they say. Like, there's a scene that they left in the movie that I was like, they left out a lot of the cringy scenes in the movie, but there was one scene they left in the movie that I was like, why? And I'm about to go to that. I'm about to find it really quick. Okay, when I go and talk about the movie, I'm gonna try and find the clip of that scene, and I'm gonna try and put it in. But this is what she says in the book, okay? She's like, they're in the hotel because they're at his brother's wedding and whatever, and they're in the hotel, and she's like on top of her, and she's like laying down like in the bed, and she's like, put all your weight on me. I want to feel your weight on me. And he's like, I can't do that. I'll crush you. Like, because, okay, so that's another thing about this book. They excessively talk about how tall and, like, large he is, and how small and, like, petite she is. Like, we get it. She's short. She's skinny. We get it. You're tall and supposedly have muscles and are broad and whatever. But stop referring to it. We don't need scenes like that. Like, oh my god. It's like when I read that, I was like, it was like secondhand embarrassment. And it was just, and I guess I talked about this already. This is in my cons, like, that's not an enemies to lovers. Like, I complained about that already, so we can skip that. Okay, yeah, that's on my cons. I already talked about how there's too much big and small talk. Like, we got it. Rating is 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a good read if you want like a good laugh and you're more focused on the characters rather than anything else in the book, then I would suggest reading this. It's not a terrible book, but it's not one of my favorites. So now let's talk about the movie. The movie. Okay? What's my rating of the movie? Okay, actually, let me put okay. So what is my overall feelings of the movie? My overall feelings of the movie is that it sucked. Like, I was really looking forward to this movie because of the casting. The casting was so good. Like, I enjoyed the casting. But when I tell you that the acting was horrible. Like, I mean, it wasn't horrible. I guess it's not really the acting. It was more of the script and the book that's based off of. Like, the story was just, because they could have done so much better with this movie. Like, they literally, I guess it's the point, because what I'm just thinking, the movie is paced exactly how the book is paced, and the book is paced really fast. And when it comes to romance books, to me, this is a fast-paced romance, because they, like, hate each other for, like, the first 2 chapters of the book, and then the rest of the book, they, like, go on their little paintball trip. He takes care of her because she's sick. She agrees to go to this wedding thing with him, and then they're all, like, kind of lovey-dovey about each other, and after that, they still make fun of each other, but they don't hate each other. Like, they hate each other for, like, 2 seconds. Like, it's irritating. But yeah, the movie sucked, and it wasn't the actors' fault, because the actors are good. But the book was just, they didn't choose the right book. They didn't choose the right story. If they would have taken the plot from this book and the characters' names and, like, basically the same gist, but made it faster, I mean not faster, shorter, like a, not shorter, slower is what I'm trying to say. Slower, like a slower romance where they hate each other a little bit longer. Cut out the like paintball scene. Like I that would be so much, that would have been such a good fucking movie. And the fact that they cut out so many cringy scenes, there is a lot of cringy scenes in this book. Since they cut out so many cringy scenes, except for that one, the movie is, like, the story is even shorter because of how many scenes they had to cut. So my overall rating of the movie is a 2 out of 5. I really didn't like it. I really didn't. I didn't like it at all. Let's go into my pros about the movie. I did find it funnier than the book. I did think it was a lot funnier than the book because of the actors, and I guess like seeing the book kind of come to life, it was very much funnier. And like I said before, another pro is that it has really great casting. I did enjoy the casting. I think it was really well done. Ever since I saw this book, and they talked about the girl and what she looks like and her name, I was like, Lucy Hale would be perfect in this movie. And then they made the movie, and then I was like, now I gotta read the book so I can watch the movie after. Also, another pro is that I like Lucy, the character Lucy, better in the movie than I did in the book. In the book, I liked Joshua more, but in the movie, I liked Lucy. Like, it's not that I like Lucy more than Josh in the movie, like, I like them both equally in the movie, but like, as of their characters from the book, I liked Lucy better in the movie than I did. Than she was in the book. Okay, so I did put this on my pro, but now that I'm thinking about it, what I put on my pro is the elevator scene. I do think the elevator scene is a lot better than the one in the book. The elevator scene in the book is so bad. Like, the elevator scene in the book is so abrupt, and this is why it's like, because the elevator scene happens so quickly in the book, like, it's like in the beginning of the book, that you're like, I thought you guys hated each other. What are you doing? This man clicks the fucking elevator stop button and then just picks her up and starts kissing her. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what? And I guess people are supposed to be like, oh my god, like, oh my god. We're supposed to be hating this man right now. We're supposed to hate him because the main character hates him. What do you mean? Why are you guys kissing? Like, I don't understand. But okay, so I said that I liked the elevator scene better than the movie. I did kind of, but because of the way they started kissing, he didn't just grab her and started kissing her. Like,
you need a ride?
No, I will walk.
But it's pouring. I wouldn't want your makeup to smear after you just spent 22 minutes on it in the bathroom.
Has anyone ever told you that you have stalker-like tendencies?
Oh, so says the girl with the serial killer eyes.
Yeah, only when I imagine strangling you. God. Calm down. I'm not actually gonna strangle you.
What are we doing?
What do you mean?
This schoolyard game that we play every day.
You mean the game where we hate each other?
Do you really hate me?
I like that better rather than him just sitting in the elevator and him like clicking the button and being like, I'm gonna kiss you now. Like, he was like, I just want to see something, and then he clicks the button and like kisses her, and I was just like, what? I was like, what? I was literally so confused. I don't know. I did not like the conversation that was had before they started kissing though. It was extremely cringy and kind of predictable, and I don't know if the movie was just like, the plot was predictable in general in the book, and I feel like since I already had read the book and then I started watching the movie, me reading the book first made the movie worse because I knew it was going to happen and knew exactly what the lines were going to be, because literally as soon as I finished this book, I opened my computer, I went to Hulu, and I watched the movie. Like, I think it's because I knew exactly what they were going to say is why I don't know. But I don't know, I think it was the fact that I had to see cringy scenes from the book go into the movie. And then, like, the movie made its own cringy scenes, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, this plot was not savable. This script was not savable. You should have just threw it away and just never made the movie. Lucy Hale's been in so many, like, movies that are 10 times better than this one that I really don't understand why she took this one. Like, I would have read the script and been like, you want me to say, put your weight on me, I want to feel your weight on me. You want me to say that? Who realistically would be like, lay on me, I want your weight, I want to feel all your weight on me. And then what's the guy's name? What's the male actor? I don't know his name. Let me look it up. Austin Stoll. And Austin Stoll read that script and was like, and you want me to say, I can't do that, I'll crush you. You want me to say that in a serious way? I don't understand why. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why any actor would be like, yes, this is the movie. I'm gonna be in that one. Like, if Lucy Hale wasn't in the movie, I wouldn't have watched it. So she was literally the only reason. The casting was the only reason I watched the movie. Okay, let's go into the cons, even though I've been complaining the entire time. Okay, so in the movie, they change the shirt colors that are in the book, and I don't like that. I don't like that they changed the shirt colors. Especially the mustard shirt that they talk about in the book. I was really hoping to see that in the movie because I low-key wanted to see how Josh looked in mustard, to be honest, because Lucy talks about how she hates it so much, but I'm like, mustard isn't that bad of a color, and it kind of looks good on men sometimes. I was like, I want to see that come to life. And then they didn't do it. They changed it to, like, they changed them all to, like, dark bluish colors. Like, it was, like, white, off-white, light blue, navy blue, charcoal gray, and black. It was, like, something like that. And I'm just like, those are the most boring fucking colors. He had mustard. And like, he had like mustard, and then he changed the mustard one to a green one at the end. The next one, the movie was very Hallmark-esque, very Christmas Hallmark-esque vibes. You know what I mean? Like the way the characters were acting, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And that's not a compliment. Like, Hallmark movies are bad. Like, they're not good. I personally don't like Hallmark movies, like, at all, and I think they're cringy, and this movie was very cringy. That's my next con. It is still extremely cringy. Like, literally, I stopped it a few times and I was like, am I gonna finish this movie? I was like, do I want to?
Say that I can take you to the wedding.
Is that what you want?
No, what I want is to stop fighting. I want just a tiny sliver of peace in my daily life.
And to die very slowly of boredom.
Oh no, I won't be bored. I'll have this fantastic new job to keep me occupied.
You're not getting the job.
No. Put your hands on me.
Put them on yourself.
Kiss me.
Do me a favor.
What?
Go to dinner with Danny and kiss him.
What? Why?
If it's better than our elevator kiss, then fine. But if it's not...
What is
then-
with you?
I don't want to be some experiment before you settle down with Mr. Right. And I'm not going to put my hands on you again unless you tell me that nobody kisses you like I do.
What I hated in the movie, because you know how I said in the book that I like that he cherishes and like waits to have sex with her because he wants the moment to like matter. He wants the moment to be like special. Like he wants to be able to savor the moment and be like right. You know what I mean? And in the movie they have sex like 5 times. And I'm like why? So in the book, he like rejects having sex with her like a few times and like explains to her why. In the movie, he only rejects having sex with her once, does not explain to her why. And then the next time that she like wants to have sex with him, he's like, okay, let's have sex. And then they do this whole scene where she like takes his towel off and she like stares at his like this and is like, I'll see if I can find the scene. It'll come up.
This does not mean we're okay. Come here. No, I want to feel your weight.
I'll crush you.
Well, I have lived a really good life.
Are you sure you're okay with this?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
You should write sonnets.
It's so bad. Like, it's so bad. I'm sorry. It is so, the way this movie is directed, the way this movie is edited, the way the actors act in this movie, like, I know that they're acting based off the characters in the book and based off the script, so it's technically not their fault, but it was bad, okay? It was bad. Like, I know Lucy Hale can act. I know she can act because I've seen her in so many other films. When I was writing up pros and cons for this, and I was sitting here, like, thinking about it, I was like, this movie is the Walmart version of The Proposal. And the reason why I say that is because, what's his name? Austin Stoll tries so hard to be like Ryan Reynolds in this movie. Like, the way he says stuff, like his little witty remarks. Like, he tries so hard to be Ryan Reynolds. And it's like they like wanted Ryan Reynolds to be in the movie, but he turned it down. I would too, Ryan Reynolds. And then they were like, yeah, Austin Stoll, yeah, you're cute. Can you act like Ryan Reynolds in this movie? That's what it felt like. And, okay, so this is an even better example. It's like the Walmart version, it's like The Proposal and The Setup mixed together and the Walmart version of that. Because when I first heard of this concept, I was like, it does really remind me of The Setup, except in The Setup, which is, if you've seen that movie, in The Setup, the two, like, assistants don't hate each other. Their bosses do, and they have to try and make their bosses love each other to make their lives easier. So in the process of them making their bosses fall in love with each other, they fall in love with each other, and it's cute. I love that movie. The Proposal, the assistant and the boss hate each other, and then they have to get proposed, they have to marry each other because the boss is Canadian and she's about to lose her visa and she needs to get married in order to stay in America so that she can keep doing her job and not get fired and sent back to Canada. So that's the reason why they get married, and then they end up falling in love with each other. And I love Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock in that movie because they're great. And if anyone says The Proposal sucks, you're wrong. Overall, the rating for the book is 2 out of 5. The rating, or not 2 out of 5. The rating for the movie is a 2 out of 5. The rating for the book is a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that is all I have. I am done ranting to you. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday and a good rest of your week. Deuces. Bye. Hopefully those are good.